is up? All right, cut the music. All right, so we got welcome to the SEC Huddle. SEC Huddle. As all right, we got week number three. Number three is gone. Man, we're already in the fourth week of the season. We wait. So many months, man. So many months to get to this college football season. And we're already week 4. Just remember that. We're in week 4. We're in week 4 right now. As gotta move my table a little closer. I always like stretching, for some reason. But man, it's guys, I can't believe we're already going to be in week number 4 in the season. And some teams still haven't played a conference game yet, which is just no. It's another video. That's time for another video. There's teams that go into week 4 and they haven't even played a conference game yet. Now it's got to change. That's got to change. All right, let's see here. Let's open the window capture and let's see. Now it's doing this thing again, huh? It's doing this thing again where it's not. Did this last night. Remember, I did the same thing last night. I'm gonna have to refresh the screen. Let's see here. There we go. It just takes a second for it to pop up. I guess it takes a second for it to refresh and work. Yeah, so work with me here. All right, let's get to the games in the SEC. As you see, we have quite a few to go through now. Now that we have 16 teams in the SEC, so there were some good games, as you can see. But the first game that we're going to go over is LSU and Florida, and let's pull it up, and LSU and the Gators. Need something real quick. All right, so LSU kicked off as a 5.5 point favorite, and they covered that spread. One second. Yeah, had to go get something real quick. Yeah, LSU kicked off as a 5.5 point favorite. Early in the week, they were at 8.5, and the over/under was at 50.5. As you can see, LSU did cover the spread, thanks to a large part of we'll go over the scoring, but the over/under, the 47.5 was the over/under, and it went under. So. LSU's offense, they don't score points. And I don't think there's any point spread this week, but we'll look at that when we get to it. All right, so Florida got the field goal off. Florida got the scoring started first with Trey Smack with a 45-yard field goal, and it was Florida 3-0 after 1 quarter of play. In the second quarter, LSU got a Bramos 47-yard field goal, then a Xavier Thomas 23-yard pass from Garrett Nussmeier. It was 10-3 LSU, but Florida got a touchdown pass about 3 minutes ago in the half, and it was 10. I'm sorry, it was 10-10, and then I forgot LSU got a field goal before half. It was 13-10 at the half. In the second half was just a total shit show offensively. Neither team was able to put up any kind of drives, effectively. The only touchdown in the second half was a 58-yard interception return by Deshaun Spears, which was his second interception of the day for LSU, and made it 20-10. And that was the final score. There was no scoring in the fourth quarter. As If you liked offense, this was not your game. As Garrett Nussmeier threw for 220 yards, he was 15 for 27, one touchdown, one interception. Caden Durham had 15 carries, 93 yards, but 50 of it was on like one play late in the game. LSU really had a hard time running the football. Again, so this is something that's is going to have to correct itself in 2 weeks when they go to Ole Miss. Aaron Anderson had 4 catches for 75 yards. Guillory had a sack, and Devon Keys came in the game because of Weeks got the targeting call and exited the game. But Devon Keys had 14 tackles and 6 solo for LSU. Over for the Florida Gators, man. DJ Lagway threw the ball 49 times, 1 touchdown, and 5 interceptions. 5 interceptions. I don't know how that even happens, man. If Nussmeier threw 5 interceptions in a game, I'd be livid for 3 weeks anyway. Ball had 10 carries for 46. Brown had 8 receptions for 62 yards. They didn't register a sack. LSU's offensive line did well in pass protection. It was the run blocking which they lacked. They couldn't run the ball at all. It was horrible. But Gums had Gums had 5 tackles, 2 solo for the Gators, as LSU wins 20-10. And next game we're gonna go over this. This was the probably the I would say there was a game of the week in the SEC, but this was an SEC game. Another one that we're going to go over wasn't an SEC game, so it's a little different. We got the Georgia Bulldogs victorious over the Tennessee Volunteers. Tennessee Volunteers yet again, 44-41. It looked like Tennessee was going to kick a field goal at the buzzer and get the win. It really looked like Tennessee was going to win this football game, but they missed the field goal. But we'll get to that in a minute. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Hold on. But all right, I'm back now. Sorry about that. Somebody texted me. All right, so we got Tennessee and Georgia. So Georgia was a 3.5 point favorite, and the point spread ended being 3. So they didn't cover. Over under was met with relative ease. I mean, Georgia almost had 50 points themselves. Tennessee almost had 50 points themselves. So it was 50.5 was the over/under that got hit with ease, and then we'll go. Let's look at the scoring, because there was a bunch of scoring in this game. Unlike the LSU Florida game, the lack of offense wasn't a problem in this game. As Joey Aguilar. I mean Tennessee. I think Tennessee hit the jackpot, so to speak. As man, I think that was a goose. Anyway, but Joey Aguilar. They had Nico. Nico wanted to leave. Nico left. They get Joey Aguilar, and I think Tennessee hit the home run here. Anyway, so Joey Aguilar had a 4-yard TD run. It was 7-0 Tennessee. Then Georgia came back, and with Gunnar Stockton with a touchdown, it was tied at 7. Then Tennessee came back with 2 touchdowns in a row, both by Brazil. It was 21-7 after 1 quarter of play. But in the second quarter, Georgia outscored them 10-0. Touchdown by Branch, field goal by Woodrig, and it was 21-17. Tennessee going into the halftime break in the third quarter. This is when the game got really good, as it was going back and forth. As Georgia got a touchdown from McCray, Woodring got a field goal and then Georgia was up 27-21. But Tennessee came back as Chris Brazell had a 56-yard pass from Joey Aguilar, and the Volunteers took the lead 28-27 going into the fourth quarter. In the fourth quarter, Woodring had a 24-yard field goal for the Dogs, and it was 30-28 Georgia. Early in the fourth quarter. Then Tennessee came back. Tennessee came back with a touchdown from Staley and a field goal. They led 38-30 late in the fourth quarter, and that's when Georgia. I believe this was on a fourth down, as Landon Humphreys had a 28-yard pass from Gunnar Stockton, and they went for two and got it and tied it at 38 with 2:32 left. I believe that was on fourth down, if I'm not mistaken. And then Tennessee drove down the field, and they had a false start, and it seemed very, it didn't seem like it mattered much at the moment. You're like, okay, but I don't know. You'll never know. You'll never know if if and buts, candy nuts. You'll never know if it happens. But Tennessee had a false start that pushed them back 5 yards, and they ended up missing the field goal, and it goes into overtime. In overtime period, Tennessee gets the ball first. They get a field goal, a 42-yard field goal, but then Georgia comes back with a touchdown as Josh McCray scores a touchdown. It had to get reviewed. It was first they said it was no touchdown. Then it got reviewed, said it was a touchdown, and it was a touchdown. And Georgia beat Tennessee yet again, 44-41. Man, Tennessee fans have got to be. And BVD would have. I think BVD would have. I don't know what he would have done. That poor dude probably would have. I don't know. All right, we got UTEP and Texas. As Texas was favored by 40.5 points, and as you can see, they didn't come close to that. They never came close to that 40.5 point spread. And the over/under was 52.5, and that never got met either. I gotta go back to the Tennessee game first, because I forgot to do the stats. Let's go back to the Tennessee game. I forgot to do the stats. All right. So we have so let's go back to the Tennessee game real quick. Sorry about that. Because we got Gunnar Stockton threw for 2 touchdowns and 304 yards. He had a really good game. Those questions were is he a runner or is he a passer? Well, he was a passer Saturday. For the Dogs, as Frazier had 14 carries for 73, Young had 4 receptions for 73, Cole had a sack, and Allen had 11 tackles for Georgia. Going over to Tennessee, Aguilar had 4 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, threw for 371 yards. Thomas had 9 carries, 60 yards. Brazell, 6 receptions, 3 touchdowns, caught for 177 yards receiving. As Herrig had a sack and a half, and Carter had 14 tackles for the Volunteers. So there's your and now we can get to the Texas game. We'll go back over it again since we had to leave it abruptly. As like I said, the over/under was 40.5. I'm sorry, the point spread was 40.5, and Texas definitely did not cover that. And also the over/under wasn't even close to being hit. As you can see that. All right, so Texas Arch Manning had a 2-yard run in the first quarter, and it was 7-0 Texas. In the second quarter, UTEP got a 39-yard field goal from Carlos Arreola. It was 7-3. Then Arch Manning had a 5-yard run. It was 14-3 Texas at the break. In the second half, it's much like LSU, man. It looks like their offense was just not good. But hey, look, at least they scored offensive points in the second half. LSU couldn't do that. As Shipley had a field goal, 2 field goals, one from 31, one from 30. It was 20-3. And in the fourth quarter, Wingo had a 4-yard pass on Manning to make it 27-3. And then UTEP got the last score of the game on a 2-yard run by Shea Smith. And it was a 27-10 Texas at the. All right, so we Arch Manning. Arch Manning's having a rough go at it. I think going into the season, he was a really sexy pick to be the Heisman front runner. And just like Garrett Nussmeier, he hasn't really live those expectations as of yet. But look, the Heisman Trophy is not won in September. It's never has been won in September, and it never will be won in September. It's gonna be won in late October and in November. That's when the Heisman Trophy gets won. So Texas will have a lot of bigger games down the road, but Manning's got to play a lot better than what he has in this first 3 games of the season. He's threw for 1 touchdown, 1 pick in the game. Only threw for 114 yards. Simon had 17 carries for 67 yards. Wingo had 3 receptions and a touchdown for 32. And then Kanu had a sack, and LaFau had 7 tackles for Texas. Hey, Paxton comes right on, but Paxton comes right in right when I'm doing the Texas broadcast. What's up, Texas? What's up, Paxton? What you doing, Paxton? All right, so Nelson for the Miners had 209 yards through the air, 2 interceptions. On the ground, Wilson had 6 carries for 39, Tate 6 for 64. UTEP did not register a sack, and the leading tackler was Davey with 9 tackles. But so Texas is 2-1, but they still ain't played no conference game yet. All right, here we go. This is another game that was really, really good. Of course, this wasn't an SEC game, but this was a power. I guess you would call include Notre Dame in the Power 4. 41-40 as Texas A&M gets the victory, and we'll recap on how they got the victory in a second. But the point spread was Notre Dame was 7.5 point favorite. Now I think in the last week I said, man, they're not covering that spread. And they're probably not going to win. But the over/under was met with relative ease. 48.5 was the over/under. So if you bet A&M and the points and the over/under last week, man, you probably made some good money last week. All right, let's go. Let's look. There's a lot of points in this game. Man, it must be nice to have an offense. LSU has no offense whatsoever. Their offense is utter garbage, but that's for another video. As Notre Dame scored first as Tay Johnson had a 20-yard return of a blocked punt. It was 7-0 Notre Dame. And then Mario Craver had an 86-yard pass from Marcel Reed, which tied it up at 7-7. And then late in the first quarter, kind of midway, 6 minutes to go, looks like 14-7 was the score. As Jadarian Price had a 7-yard run for the Irish, and they led 14-7 after the first quarter. In the second quarter, they had 31 points scored between the two teams in that second quarter. And Paxton just leaves. Oh, nice, Paxton. Thought you would stay here. Anyway. All right, so Noah Burnett had a 22-yard field goal for the Irish, and they're up 17-7. Then Le'Veon Moss had a 1-yard run for the Aggies. It was 17-14 with about 12:23 to go in the second quarter. And after that, Jeremiah Love had a 36-yard pass from C.J. Carr. And it was 24-14 Irish. And then Texas A&M came back with 2 touchdowns. Two by Le'Veon Moss. A 2-yard run and a 1-yard run. And they led 28-24 at the break. In the third quarter, we had a touchdown by Price for Notre Dame and a field goal by Bond for the Aggies, and it was 31-31 going into the fourth and final quarter. In that fourth and final quarter, you had Burnett with a 39-yard field goal for the Irish. Then the Aggies came back, Bond with a field goal, 34-34. Then you had Jeremiah Love with 2:53 to go in the contest. He gets a 12-yard touchdown run pass. They went for 2. Okay. I'm just looking at that now because I saw the last touchdown, but I really wasn't watching this. But they went for 2, and they didn't get it, and it was 40-34. They went 13 seconds to go in the game, the Aggies get a touchdown pass from Marcel Reed to Bo Kircher, and it was 41-40, your final. Let's look at the stats. As Marcel Reed had 360 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. As he's going to be a problem for a lot of teams in the SEC. Last year when he came on, he really did with his feet against LSU. But Moss had 20 carries for 81 yards, 3 touchdowns. Craver had 7 catches for 207. Regis had a sack for the Aggies. And Ratcliffe had 8 tackles for A&M. Over for Notre Dame, C.J. Carr, 293 yards passing, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. Love had 23 carries for 94 yards and a touchdown. As Raridan had 4 catches, 85 for the Irish. They did not register a sack. And Schuler had 7 tackles, 3 solo. That was for the Irish, as they lost 41-40 to Texas A&M. All right, we got Vanderbilt and South Carolina. I thought Vanderbilt had a really good chance to win this game, but I didn't think they were going to win 31-7 over South Carolina. I didn't think that was going to happen. But Vanderbilt did beat South Carolina 31-7, as the Gamecocks were 2.5-point favorites. And the over/under was 48.5, and neither one of those was met, as Vanderbilt won the game. But man, so the Commodores is what year is this? What year is this? Man, Vanderbilt gets a 18-yard pass from from Pavia to Alexander, and it was 7-0 Commodores. Then Faison gets a 7-yard run for the Gamecocks. It was 7-7. But that was the last points the Gamecocks scored. As Sherrill had a touchdown for Vanderbilt. Lassiter gets a 44-yard run. Then they get a field goal from Taylor. Alexander with another touchdown. And Vanderbilt wins 31-7. All right, let's look at the stats. As Pavia had 177 yards passing, 2 touchdowns with 1 interception. Lasser, 1 carry, 44 yards. So he was the leading ball carrier. Though yardage-wise, he was the leading ball carrier, and he had 1 touchdown. Stowers had 3 receptions for 45 for Vanderbilt. Cowan had 1 sack. Hurd had 12 tackles, and they were all solo for the Commodores. Going to the Gamecocks, as Doty came in because Sellers went out with an injury. He was 18 for 27, 1 interception, no touchdowns, threw for 148 yards. Faison, 15 carries for 74 yards. Nicholas Harbor, I think he also left the game. He had 4 receptions for 66. Barrett had a sack, and Williams had 7 tackles, and they were all solo for the Gamecocks. All right, man. All right, next game we got Oklahoma and Temple. Oklahoma went to Temple for some reason to play a game. Oklahoma was favored by 24.5. They covered that with relative ease. The only thing that didn't go was the over/under. The over/under was 51.5, and it went under that. But we'll go over the scoring real quick. As Barnes had a touchdown, Sindel had a field goal for the Sooners. Blaylock had a touchdown. Another touchdown for Blaylock. He had 2 in that second quarter. Harding had a field goal for the Temple Owls, which was their only point scored of the game. Sandell gets a field goal before the halftime break. In the third quarter, Robinson with a touchdown, and Mateer with a 51-yard run for the Sooners. Yeah, Mateer, another transfer. These transfer quarterbacks, they transfer every damn year to somewhere. And Mateer threw for 282 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. What's up, True? How you doing? Then Blaylock had 14 carries, had an even 100 yards, 2 touchdowns for the Sooners. Sooners are going to be a lot better. They're a lot better than what they were last year, man. LSU's got to go there, Thanksgiving weekend. And I don't know, man. That's how we go. Get rated. Man, got a helicopter flying around. All right, we got Satigna with 97 yards receiving on 7 catches. Powers had a sack, and then Heim had four tackles, 3 solo. But I'm doing well, man. You sore from overwork, and I'm doing okay, man. I was sick Sunday night, not because of the Saints. I had fever Sunday night, and I'm still trying to get over that. I went. Somebody got me sick when I did DoorDash Friday. When I did DoorDash Friday, somebody got me fucking sick, man. And so anyway, all right, over for Tipple. Simon only threw for 75 yards passing. Ducker 7 for 24. In rushing. Halloween had 2 receptions for 21. Comer had a sack for Temple, and Powell had 9 tackles and 7 solo for the Temple Owls. But yeah, I don't know why. Oklahoma even agreed to go to play at Temple. Yeah, I'm much better now. Well, here's another game. Another game in the SEC that was really, really good and high scoring. As Mateer came Washington State. It was Washington State he came from. Looks like he made the right choice. But Ole Miss and Arkansas, another 2 teams that scored a lot of points, man. And LSU plays both these teams later in the season. Ole Miss in 2 weeks. LSU's got to get their offense going, man. A lot of these teams are scoring points, like a lot of points, and LSU can't score 20. So they gonna have to get their offense fixed and like now. All right, so Ole Miss was favored by 4.5. They covered that. Over under was 60.5. It went over. It went over, man. Yeah, I lose track of players now. But at one time you were able to track a player, and okay, no, he plays for XYZ. Now he plays for YWS. I mean, it's like it's hard to know. But this game actually went over. Over. It's amazing. 60.5, and it went over. Man, that just doesn't happen, man. That doesn't happen. But yeah, I was watching this game also when LSU was going on in Florida. But yeah, a lot of scoring in this game. As Lacey had a touchdown for Ole Miss with 7-0. Then you had Blake with a 30-yard pass from Taylor. Taylor Green is playing really, really well for Arkansas. Another quarterback that's playing well. Chambliss had a 2-yard run for Ole Miss, was 14-7. Then Arkansas comes back and they tied up again. It's 14-14 as Mike Washington had a 47-yard run for the Hogs. Then Chambliss gets a 1-yard run for Ole Miss, and they were going back and forth. As Balin Russell had a 3-yard run for a touchdown. Ole Miss scored a touchdown from Wallace from Simmons. Then Arkansas comes back. It's 28-28. And then then Ole Miss gets a field goal before the break, and it's 31-28. These teams were going back and forth in that first half. Look at the points in the second quarter. 24 by Ole Miss, 21 by Arkansas. That's just crazy that the amount of points scored in that second quarter. In the third quarter, we only had 1 touchdown. I don't know what happened with the offenses in the second half, but they went to sleep. As Stribling had a 6-yard pass from Chambliss. It was 38-28 Ole Miss. Then Ole Miss gets a field goal, make it 41-28. Then Arkansas comes back about 5 minutes ago in the game. They get a touchdown, but they couldn't get any closer as the final score was 41-35. All right, so Chambliss on in relief because Simmons got hurt for Ole Miss. Man, does it really matter who the quarterback is for Lane Kiffin? I mean, no matter who he has back there, they're going to throw for 300 yards. And I know, and Arch Manning, He barely threw for 200 yards this season. Just don't. Yeah. Wish we had Lane Kiffin as a play caller. But anyway, so Chambliss threw for 353 yards and a touchdown. He also was the leading ball carrier, 15 carries, 62 yards. Wallace had 6 catches for 92 for the Rebels, and Perkins had 9 tackles, 3 solo. Over for the Razorbacks, Green had 1 touchdown, threw for 305 yards. Green is a good quarterback. If you haven't watched Arkansas, man, they look a little different than with last year. They look a little different, man. As Green also was the leading ball carrier, 14 carries for 115 yards and a touchdown. I know, man. Kiffin, if I go quarterback for Ole Miss, I'd probably do it for 300 yards. Okay, maybe I'm over-exaggerating that a little bit, but you understand what I'm saying. Blake had 6 catches for 81. Mitchell had a sack, and Dix had 9 tackles for Arkansas. It's, man. All right, let's see what we got going on next here. We got Alabama and Wisconsin. Boom, boom, boom. Let's see. All right, so Alabama was favored by 18.5 points, and they covered the spread. Alabama has rebounded from that Florida State loss. They look like I know they played UL Monroe, and they played Wisconsin. They played 2 teams that aren't very good, but they look a hell of a lot better these last 2 weeks than they did when they played Florida State. As the over was also hit, and Alabama covered the point spread. They won 38 to 14. As they came out the gates firing. They were up 21-0 at the break. As Bernard had a 2-yard run, he also had a 45-yard touchdown pass from Simpson. And Horton had a touchdown pass from Ty Simpson. Look, Ty Simpson's playing much better than he did the first week. Everybody said, "Oh man, Ty Simpson sucks, man." Everybody, you know, hear how people overreact, man, on week 1. Overreact, you know, like Matt Moscona dressing up like a freaking Native American on whatever. Anyway, all right, so it was 21-0 Alabama at the break. In the third quarter, Ryan Williams. There's a Ryan Williams sighting. He had a 75-yard pass from Simpson for a score. It was 28-0. Then Wisconsin finally gets on the board as they had a kickoff return for a touchdown. And it was 28-7. But then Bama comes right back. Another Ryan Williams sighting was 35-7 going to the fourth quarter. In the fourth quarter, you had a field goal by Alabama and a touchdown by Wisconsin. It was 38-14, your final. All right, so Ty Simpson. Matt Moscona is he is a clown. He's a clown. His whole Alabama is burning ship I'm not going to say nothing until LSU beats Alabama. So, anyway, Ty Simpson, man, look, he's played much better the last 2 weeks. I know the competition is going to be much more in 2 weeks when they play Georgia. But he threw for 4 touchdowns, 382 yards. He ran the ball 6 times for 25. Ryan Williams, 5 receptions for 165 yards, 2 touchdowns. Overton had a sack. And he also, that can't be right. One tackle can't be the leading tackler. That can't be right. And there's no way that there was one net. There's no way. ESPN has been fucking with their stats have been messed up. All right, we got O'Neal for Wisconsin, 177 yards passing, 1 touchdown, 2 picks. Dupree had 7 carries for 26, and Ballard had 1 catch for 41 for Wisconsin. And it looked the same thing with them. They got 1 tackle for 1 somebody. That's not right. It's not right. ESPN. Somebody doesn't know what they're doing. All right, we got Auburn and South Alabama. As Auburn was favored by 26.5 points, and look by the score, you can tell they didn't cover. They didn't cover the spread, and the over/under was 55.5. And they, of course, the over/under wasn't even touched there. But Auburn did get the victory. They're 3-0. They're ranked. Auburn's ranked. That's one team I wish we'd have played this year is Auburn. Didn't play them last year. Not playing them this year. That kind of sucks anyway. All right, so we got Auburn got the scored first as Coleman had a 32-yard pass with 7-0 Tigers. Then South Alabama gets a field goal, a 29-yard field goal by DeBoyan, and it was 7-3 Auburn after one quarter of play. In the second quarter, Auburn scores 21 points. They get touchdowns, 2 touchdowns from Jackson Arnold, makes it 21-3, and then the Jaguars get a touchdown. They missed the PAT. It was 21-9. Then before the halftime break, Jeremiah Cobb gets a touchdown run. For the Tigers, it was 28-9. Auburn at the break. In the third quarter, you had DeVoisen with a 12-yard pass from Davenport. And it was 28-15 Auburn. It was only a 13-point game at that point. But Auburn gets a field goal late in the third quarter, and that was all she wrote for the scoring. It was 31-15 was the final. So Auburn only wins by 16 points, and the team that they're favored by over 20. Jackson Arnold had threw for 142 yards, 1 touchdown. Cobb, 19 carries, 119 yards for Auburn, 1 touchdown. Singleton, 6 catches for 65. Smith had a sack, and then Harris had 8 tackles, 8 solos. That sounds like right there. All right, Davenport for South Alabama had 170 yards through the air, 2 touchdowns and 1 pick. Bullock had 16 carries, 57 yards. Eager had 8 receptions for 55. A sack was by their leading. Did have a sack by Johnson, and Wallace had 8 tackles for the Jaguars. All right. We got Missouri played the Louisiana Raging Cajuns. As Missouri's 3-0, they won 52-10 as they covered the spread, 27.5. And they also, the over was matched, or hit on that one, at 46.5. So Missouri looks pretty good this year. There's a lot of teams that look really good this year offensively in the SEC. And I know LSU has a good defense. I'm not going to deny their defense isn't good. Their defense is really, really good, but they got to start scoring more points than 13 points. Anyway, so Missouri got 14 points in the first quarter as Hardy had a touchdown. Johnson had a touchdown. It was 14-0 Missouri at the first quarter. In the second quarter, another touchdown. We got a touchdown by Pribula. He had a 14-yard run. Roberts had a touchdown pass from Pribula, 39 yards. And it was 28-0. I know, man. LSU's good. They gotta get their offense going, man. You look at all these points scored by other teams, man. LSU scoring 13 points. And, offensively, it's got to change. And it's got to change. Saturday. They're not gonna find out shit Saturday. They're playing Southeastern, but when they go to Ole Miss in 2 weeks. Their offense better score in the 30s. Otherwise, they're going to lose. All right, we got the Cajuns. They get a field goal by Sterner. It was 28-3. Another touchdown by Mizzou as Hardy had a 71-yard run, and it was 35-3. And then Perry, look at we got a big old run by Perry for the Raging Cajuns. It was 35-10. But then, look, we're still in the second quarter, and got a field goal by Meyer. It was 38-10. If our defense, well, thank God we got a defense. I feel like this is Les Miles again. Is it? What year is this? Is this 2010? Man, what year is this? But all right, now we gotta get to this. We gotta get to the second half now. But second half there wasn't much scoring, as there's only 2 touchdowns scored, both by Missouri. As Hardy had a touchdown and Davis had a touchdown. So 52-10 Missouri. But yeah, I'm telling you, man, this this is like it's like we're in a time machine. This is a Les Miles team where there's a really good defense and the offense is utter garbage. But with Les Miles, at least they ran the football with Les Miles. That's one thing that they really did well on the last. I'll give them that, is that they were able to run the football. This team can't run the football. So, all right. So Pribula for Missouri had 174 yards through the air, 2 touchdowns and 1 pick. And Hardy had 22 carries for 250 yards for Missouri. Coleman had 8 catches for 84. Wilson had a sack. He also had 4 tackles, which led the team. Over for the Cajuns, Beal 1 for 8 for 5 yards. They only threw the ball. I gotta go check this. I gotta go check the team stats. I gotta go see if this is right. 5 yards passing. I gotta go check this in a minute. Perry had 5 carries for 86. Jensen had 1 catch for 5 yards. They had 1 sack and 11 tackles for Duggar. I gotta go look at this. They only had 5 yards passing. They had 4. Wait. You see that, True? They had 4 yards passing. They had 4 yards passing. Now they threw more than in the 50s. They threw more than that. Hey Paxson, $2 super chat. Where the white women at? Hey, that was a funny movie. I don't think they can make that movie nowadays. Yeah. Thank you for the $2 super. I don't think they can make that movie nowadays. All right, well, we're not going to look too hard this game. Mississippi State, but they are 3-0. Mississippi State's 3-0 for the first time, probably in I don't know. I have to go look and see where they 3-0 under Mike Leach, but I think it's been a while since Mississippi State started out 3-0. I know they played Alcorn State, but they're 3-0. They scored 60 points. All right, so let's look at the stats real quick. As Shapeman had 10 for 14, 2 touchdowns and a pick, 3 for 173. Bothwell had 12 carries for 2 touchdowns, 93 yards. Mosley had 1 reception for 75. Reed had a sack, and Gillette had 5 tackles for Mississippi State. Over for Alcorn State, Tolbert had 80 yards through the air, 1 interception. Sewell had 8 carries for 21. Blake's 3 for 31. And Hinton had 5 tackles, 2 solo. Yeah, see, this is what LSU should do against Southeastern Saturday. This is about the score LSU should beat Southeastern on Saturday. Hello, Zachary. Now, what are they going to do that? Probably not. But this is about the score that should happen. Yeah. All right, we got Kentucky and Eastern Michigan. As Kentucky improves to 2-1, they win 48-23. As they were favored by 26.5 over the Eagles. They did not cover, but the over/under was hit over 50.5. We will look at this score. All right, Kentucky, McGowan had a 4-yard run and a 12-yard run in the first quarter. It was 14-0 Wildcats. Then Eastern Michigan gets a field goal as Kessinger gets a field goal, and it was 14-3 Kentucky. I remember it was a PlayStation. I think it was it the 2? Was it PlayStation 2? I remember. I was Eastern Michigan at one time. I think it was a 2. I think it was a 2 in a college game. I picked Eastern Michigan as a dynasty, and I brought them up. It took me a few years, but I did win a national title with them. But that was kind of weird. All right. So in the second quarter, he had Rodriguez with a touchdown pass. from Botley was 21-3 Wildcats. And then Eastern Michigan gets a field goal, 21-6, 37-yard field goal. Kentucky comes back with a touchdown from Caddis from Botley, 28-3 UK. All right, and then Eastern Michigan comes back with a 64-yard touchdown pass from Kim to Lockett, then a field goal, and it was 28-16 at the break. So the Eagles got it a little closer at the break, but then in the second half, Kentucky outscored them 20-7 as they got a field goal, a touchdown from McGowan, another field goal from Kawaii. It was 41-16. Touchdown from Patterson. He had it 48-16, and then Kim had a late touchdown for the Eagles, and that was all she wrote. All right, so Boley was 12 for 21, 2 touchdowns, 240 yards for Kentucky. McGowan, 18 carries, 3 touchdowns, a $104. As Caddis had 3 catches, 61 for Kentucky. Humphrey Grace had a sack for the Wildcats, and Lovett had 8 tackles, led the team. Kim, for Eastern Michigan, had 330 yards passing, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. McMillan had 13 carries, 83 yards. Lockett had 3 catches, 90 yards and a touchdown. They did register a sack, but Patanero had 7 tackles for the Eagles. All right. I mean that was the end of week number 3. Now we gotta go to week 4, and there's some games to go over. As we got Arkansas at Memphis, so not a conference game, but you got 2-1 Arkansas going on the road to face 3-0 Memphis. Arkansas is a 7.5 point favorite. Look at the over under 62.5. That's a lot, man. 62.5. Man, that is that's a lot. I don't know about the over under. I don't know. I know Arkansas gave a lot of points to Ole Miss. They scored a lot of points against Ole Miss. But that's a lot of points, man. I don't know if anybody's listening and can comment about what they think about that, but that's a lot of points to give up. 62.5. I don't know if that can be. I don't know if that's going to be hit. And I think something tells this game might be closer than the 7.5. I think Arkansas is going to win, but I'm not really too sure about the point spread in that one. Not too sure. All right, we got UAB. All these fucking non-con games, man. I can't wait. I can't wait till we get to 9 conference games. And some of this shit's gonna. Some of these crappy ass games are gonna go away. All right, so Tennessee's favored by 38.5 points over UAB, and the over/under is 69.5. I mean, that's still a lot of 38.5 points is almost 40 points. That's a lot of. That means they have to score 39 points straight. I don't know. That's a lot of. I mean, I would stay away from this game betting. I mean, it's pointless to bet this game. But Tennessee's going to win the game. But I would stay far away from this game. I just don't. They just 38.5 points is too many points to give up. And if you're going to bet UAB plus 38.5. I don't know. I would just stay with this game. And the over-under is almost 70. I'm not too sure about that one either. Okay, now here finally, hey, we're getting to a conference game. Auburn versus Oklahoma. Finally. Conference game. Oklahoma's a 6.5 point favorite at home. Over-under is 47.5. Now, Oklahoma's played really well this year. So has Auburn. But I like the Sooners at home. Auburn had a little problem. Just had some problems at home this past weekend against South Alabama. But yeah, I like Oklahoma in this game. I like Oklahoma, and I think they're going to make a statement, and they're going to beat Auburn by like 10 points. So and the over/under is 47.5. That could be met. I can see that. I can see that being met. I like Oklahoma in this game to cover the spread, and also like them to also like the over. Yeah, give me the Sooners. All right, we got another intriguing game. It's not a conference game. You know, maybe. Well, it would have been a conference game back in the back in the 60s. You got Ole Miss and Tulane. Tulane, fresh off their win over Duke, they're 3-0. Ole Miss just beat Arkansas. Ole Miss is favored by 13.5 points. Over under 61.5. I think there's going to be a lot of points scored in this game. I just don't think Tulane is going to be able to keep up with Ole Miss. I think Ole Miss is going to have just too much offensive firepower for Tulane to handle. So I like Ole Miss in this game, and I'd be more inclined to take Tulane plus a 13.5. But I think Ole Miss will win the game. All right. Then you got Mississippi State and Northern Illinois. Mississippi State's favored by 21.5. Over/under is 49.5. I think the bet on this game is just take Mississippi State and lay the points. I think they Bulldogs might be. I have to go back and look and see the last time they were 4-0. You might have to go back to the Jackie Sherrill days. No, we ain't not that far. They were 4-0. They were 4-0 under Mullen one time when they had Prescott. But look for Mississippi State to win this game pretty big over Northern Illinois. All right, then we got this another Kentucky. I'm sorry, not Kentucky. To me, South Carolina and Missouri. This game is going to be in Missouri. Missouri is a 10.5 point favorite. And Lenore Sellers, will he play or will he not play? I'm not going to sure. I don't think it's going to make too much of a difference if Lenore Sellers plays or not. I think Missouri's offense is that good. I think Missouri's going to cover the spread, and the 48.5 will probably would go over, especially if Lenore Sellers plays. If Lenore Sellers plays, Carolina will score some points, but they're not going to be able to outscore Missouri. So give me Mizzou. Then we got Georgia State and Vanderbilt. They're about to be 4-0 because they're going to beat Georgia State. 27.5 is the spread. Man, they beat South Carolina 31-7. So they'll handle Georgia State with relative ease. And they probably will blow them out by like 30 points. Vanderbilt's they're not they are your grandpa's Vanderbilt. Know that saying? This ain't your grandpa's. This is your grandpa's Vanderbilt. Man, Vanderbilt, man. All right, then we got LSU and Southeastern Louisiana. As LSU, there is no spread for them. Well, there's no spread on ESPN. As LSU's 3-0, Southeastern is 2-1. I'm gonna say the same thing. That's it for Louisiana Tech. Let's just not have any catastrophic injuries. We thought we had them. We lost our center. We lost Trey Green against Louisiana Tech. Let's just not have any catastrophic injuries. Let's get this game, put this game away in the first half, and play the backups the rest of the game in the late second half. Just don't mess around, man. Don't mess around in this shit, man. And yeah, we won 16-0. Yeah, I'd be mad if we won 16-0. All right, we got Paxton's team. You got Texas and Sam Houston. I don't know if Paxton's still here, but Texas is 2-1. The Bearcats are 0-3. And another game, there's no point spread. But Texas, on paper, they should blow this team out. Texas should blow this team out. And it shouldn't even be close. I mean, let's look at the week 5 real quick. I just want to look at the schedule real quick. They got some good games. Look, they got Notre Dame and Arkansas, LSU, Ole Miss, Auburn, A&M, Tennessee, Mississippi State, Alabama, Georgia, Kentucky, and South Carolina. In week 5, we got a lot more better games, but we still have some fucking cream puff. Teams are still playing some cream puff games in week 5, but we'll look at that next week. But yeah, man. So I'm LSU, man. I just want to get out. I get out of the game Saturday. Don't have any goddamn injuries, man. Don't get freaking somebody hurt. So yeah. LSU needs to score. If I'm being honest, true. They got to score 5 or 6 touchdowns. I mean, they have to. They had to score 5 or 6 touchdowns. I mean, and that's just. I'm kind of being nice a little bit. They should score in every drive. They should not punt the whole game against Southeastern Louisiana. There's no reason why they should punt at all in this game. There's none. We got better. I mean, we should be able to run the ball on this team for 600 yards if we wanted to. But that's not what's going to happen. They'll probably go 3 and out on the first drive. Yeah, if they go 3 and out in the first drive, man, I might be really mad. Hey, so yeah, man. So wait, was I supposed to pick something? Oh yeah, I was supposed to pick the college games. Hold on. Supposed to pick the college games. I said I was gonna pick the college games into this stream. Hold on. Let's go back to this thing here. Yeah, I do this now. I picked the college games. I almost forgot. Let's go. Let's look at the pick'em for the college. And first, I'm gonna do my thing here. Yeah, look, I'm 16-14 in college in the picks. I've been horrible at the college picks. The NFL, I've been much better. I already got Temple, Texas Tech, and Utah. Man, this is probably one of the really good game and probably the best game in the early, in the early window. Just go away, man. I'm gonna pick Utah at home. Yeah, maybe they didn't get the confidence boost. I'm gonna pick Utah at home. Arkansas and Memphis. I like Arkansas. Arkansas, I think, should be able to outscore the Memphis Tigers. TCU and SMU. Look, the Horned Frogs have 82%. SMU's, I guess I gotta go TCU. Michigan and Nebraska. Man, Nebraska. Can Nebraska win a game? When was the last time Nebraska's won a game? Like that. I mean, it's been like years since Nebraska has won a game that like maybe could have mean something. A lot of people picking Michigan. I'm going against the grain. I'm picking Nebraska. Nebraska's got to win a game eventually. It's been over 20 years since they've been relevant. They got to win a game somehow. And this Matt Rule's got to win a game. Pat Mahomes Jr., their quarterback, needs to interchannel his Patrick Mahomes and So give me Nebraska. Then you got North Carolina going on the road to face UCF. As Bill Belichick is now won 2 in a row. Going to go face the UCF Knights. Man, I want to pick Bill Belichick so bad. I want to pick they're going to win this game, and I am. I'm picking North Carolina. I might be crazy. Give me North Carolina. Then you got Duke and NC State. Duke is 1-2. They just lost to Tulane over the weekend, and they're at home, but they're facing the Wolfpack. Man, Duke's got Dorian Mintz is goodly because he's a really good quarterback. Now, I'm picking Duke in this game. I'm going to pick Duke at home. Give me Duke. Then you got Miami in Florida. Excuse me. There's not many people are picking the Gators. And the way DJ Lagway played, do you blame anybody? I mean, he might throw 5 interceptions again. But give me Miami. I can't pick Florida. All right, then you got Indiana and Illinois. This is in the Big Ten. You got 3-0 Illinois, 3-0 Indiana at Indiana, and no. I'm going to pick Indiana at home. Give me the Hoosiers at home. Then you got Baylor and Arizona State. Baylor's 2-1. Arizona State's 2-1. Arizona State was some people picked them to repeat in the Big 12. So I'm gonna pick Arizona State. I'll pick Arizona State. Then you got BYU and East Carolina. I'll take BYU. And what's the total points scored in Miami and Florida? Give me LSU scored 3 touchdowns this week for the first time all season. Honestly, true. I mean, 44. Hold on. I'm gonna look in the eye. Play points scored. Be points total in this Miami Florida game. 49. Ooh, no, not 500. 3 touchdowns. They should. They should score big every time they have the ball. There's no reason why Southeastern should force a punt all game. LSU should score 5 touchdowns in this game. They should. But I mean, they should score 5. I just can't. On paper, there's just no way that they should be able to stop. We should run the ball against them. I mean, but it's not going to happen, right? That's not going to happen. I mean, why am I trying to kid myself? But that's what should happen. Is that there's no reason why Southeastern Louisiana, Hammond High, should stop our offense. I know our offense has been bad, but there's just no way. I mean, they just can't, man. Yeah, if LSU can't score 42 points at least. They gotta score. But they gotta do what Mississippi State did last week and score 60 points. What Bama did against ULM when they scored 70. That's what they have to do. I know that sounds like, oh man, you're beating up on the poor little Southeastern. So what, man? They're getting their paycheck. They're probably getting $1 million to drive from Hammond to Baton Rouge. They'll get on the bus and go down I-12 to Hammond to Baton Rouge and get whipped up on. But yeah, LSU's got to score in this. They got to score at least in this. They got to score high 50s, man. They just have to. But I'm just hoping we have no injuries. I said that against Louisiana Tech. We lost Trey Green. We lost Braylon Moore in the first play of the game. Now Braylon Moore played last week. Trey Green didn't, but they still got hurt in the game. Yeah. Yeah, right, man. Yeah, you're right. If LSU cannot put up at least 40 points in this game, then we're going to lose to Ole Miss. I don't mean that. Well, we might lose Ole Miss anyway, but because they can put up points. I mean, doesn't matter who the quarterback is over there in Oxford. Lane Kiffin, he finds a quarterback, and they throw for 300 yards no matter who it is. So, no. Yeah. Yeah, if they win 27-10, it's going to be time for some real concern that this team will be headed to a Florida Bowl again. We'll be going to the Gator Bowl or whatever crappy ass Cheez-It Bowl. Outback Bowl. Yeah. Saints offense looks better than LSU. Man, Saints offense. Man, people were talking bad about Rattler on Saints Talk on Tiger Rant. Say he's missing wide open guys down the field. He's not seen them. I mean, I'm not watching the replay of the games. I don't see that, but Olave can't fucking catch. I know that pass was a little bit. That pass was a little bit behind Olave, but fuck, man, Olave's got to make that catch. Jawan Johnson can't fucking catch. Yeah. So, yeah. I mean, getting to the Saints, man. I think this Sunday is going to be really, really ugly. I know you commented, said that you think the Saints are going to lose, by some kind of stupid ass bullshit. I don't think this game is going to be close Sunday. I think they're going to get really blown out, and I think Rattler's going to look like shit, and then they might think about starting Tyler against Buffalo. Maybe TJ Finley can make Ole Miss his ninth or. Yeah, no. Honestly, I think all joking aside, I think TJ Finley has another year left after this year because of the COVID year and all that bullshit. I think Finley does have one more year left of eligibility after this year, which is fucking crazy. He played in 2020, so the COVID year don't count. But then he got hurt, I think he got hurt. Didn't he get twice? Did he get hurt twice? Can't remember, but I think I read where he has actually 2 years left of eligibility this year and next year. It's fucking crazy. We're still doing the fucking COVID shit, man. We're still doing the fucking COVID eligibility. How is it? This is 2025. How are players still from COVID still around? Yeah, I know. Rattler has not thrown an interception yet. He had that fumble, right? But yeah, I still have my doubts about Rattler being the future, but he hasn't played horrible the first two games. I mean, his line can't block for him. But Ruiz is fucking utter garbage. I know this turned out to a Saints stream, but anyway. But yeah, man. So we got some good games in the SEC this week. You got Auburn and Oklahoma, and Florida, Miami could be really interesting. Could be interesting. Can DJ Lagway throw the ball to the right player? Because I mean, if DJ Lagway has a good game last week, LSU loses. So I mean, that's that, man. But yeah, so tomorrow is what, Thursday? That's right, tomorrow's Thursday. So who plays tomorrow? Miami and Buffalo. Miami and Buffalo. Ruiz eats crayons. Yeah, I saw that meme on Facebook about gluten, and we didn't have gluten when we were kids, but whatever, Billy ate crayons. I saw that meme on Facebook. I was like, wow, everybody had a friend like that. They ate crayons. And no, I wasn't the one that ate crayons. I wasn't the one. I was the one that put glue on your hand. Elmer's glue, and you put it on the AC, and then you rip your skin off. I was that kid, but yeah, I wasn't the one that ate crayons. But I remember kids that ate fucking crayons. That's fucking hilarious. Yeah, all right, man. So yeah, tomorrow's Thursday night football. And, got the Bills and the Dolphins. Oh well. Yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow night. Hopefully I don't get any more sick. I need to stay away from doing DoorDash. That's when I get sick, when I go do DoorDash and I go to these fucking restaurants and pick up food and deliver it to fucking people that they've been coughing all fucking day in their hand. Yeah, that's when I get sick. Bastards, man. I had a classmate that kept eating glue. Yeah, we turned out alright, didn't we? And didn't we turn out alright? Eating glue and eating crayons. That's hilarious, man. That doesn't matter, like, everybody that went to school in a certain time frame, we all had friends that did stupid shit, like ate crayons, ate glue. Man, we were weird. Alright, man, you have a good one, man. I'll see you guys